Well, the full Senate is taking up immigration reform on Capitol Hill today.
Lawmakers are considering legislation that would give millions of illegal immigrants a chance at becoming U.S. citizens. The Senate Judiciary Committee passed a bipartisan bill last night that could, under certain conditions, give full citizenship to the estimated 12 million illegal immigrants already in the United States. It would also implement a guest worker program, an initiative President Bush has been pushing. That's considered a huge victory for immigration rights advocates, but the hundreds of thousands of people marching in the streets of major cities are mainly protesting a House version, which, among other things, makes illegal immigration a felony and punishes those who help those immigrants.
Well, a second day of student protests over immigration reform turned ugly in Dallas today. Thousands of students walked out of area schools, and there were some injuries. CBS 11's Steve Pickett is live outside of Dallas City Hall right now with more on today's protests. Steve?
Yeah, that discussion on Capitol Hill did little to change the activity here. A lot of protests continue here at Dallas City Hall. Kids skipping school today by the thousands. They overwhelmed City Hall and police here and the city's public transit system. More than 1,000 students from 4 Irving high schools packed onto the Trinity Railway Express heading for downtown Dallas. By the time they started marching from Union Station, the crowd of teenagers had doubled.
We're trying to get things straight right now. We're trying to have our people together as one. They're trying to mess it up. We don't like this. That's why we're here today, united.
While the crowd of teens of Mexican and Salvadoran descent chanted in unison, hundreds of others were found leaving their Dallas campuses for the second day in a row. Then, tragedy. A car filled with Spruce High School students flipped. An 18-year-old loses her arm.
This is an example of what happens when you let things get out of control, when you're not observing traffic laws, when you should be in school. This wouldn't have happened if they'd been in school.
Your parents can't fight for themselves if they're undocumented. You can, but you can't do it if you're not educated.
Hispanic leaders tried to get the students to return to their campuses. Instead, this happened. Hundreds raced through the entrances of City Hall, overwhelming police. At least 2 students were treated by paramedics.
My mom came here. She's giving me the better life. You know, I love this country. I'm not here to mess everything up. I'm here to work.
And again, the concern about these protests is simply keeping these youngsters in school where they say they belong. The Dallas School District says from now on, if they have those youngsters leaving those schools, they will have in-house suspensions for those youngsters. Reporting live, Steve Pickett, CBS 11 News, Dallas City Hall.
Thank you, Steve. Well, it was a similar situation in Fort Worth where hundreds of students marched to City Hall to protest immigration reform. Now, most of the students were from Pasco, South Hills, and Polytechnic High School.